Islanders make a big move in signing Anders Lee. 7-year contract, so they lock up their captain. And it came only a couple hours after Semyon Varlamov signed a 4-year deal to be the Islanders' #1 goaltender. Tom Kuhnhackl, who spent some time with the Isles, Penguins as well, he resigns with a 1-year deal. And that comes, of course, before the free agency period started, when the Islanders signed 2 of their important impact players from this past season, Jordan Eberle and Brock Nelson. Certainly the signing of Anders Lee came after the Rangers signed Artemi Panarin. Lee was a UFA for less than a day and talks about why the decision was made to return to the Islanders.
We just kept that communication going the whole time. And you know, in principle, Lou and Neil had agreed on some things, and that allowed Lou to go after some other things out there, and you know, and then things kind of fell into place. So the last couple of days haven't been, you know, as worrisome for sure.
To be honest, I tried to trade for Varlamov last year when I first came here. You know, like a few other goaltenders, when I saw that they had signed Grubauer, was not successful, but followed it. You know, certainly followed his career from when he was drafted. I remember, you know, how he was as a prospect and what his athleticism and ability is. And in my opinion, our goaltending staff here is, you know, second to none. And I rely on their expertise more than my own, and they are extremely high on him and have been high on him, and certainly endorsed the direction, you know, we took.
And we're joined by Butch Goring to discuss a little bit more what GM and President Lou Lamoriello had to say about the Islanders' goaltending situation. Mitch Korn, obviously part of the mix there, and he's been legendary in the NHL for helping to revive goaltenders' careers and make goaltenders' careers. So now Semyon Varlamov comes in after 7 seasons in Colorado.
Well, when you look at, as you mentioned, Mitch Korn and Pierre Greco did last year with Robin Lehner and Thomas Greiss, I mean, you have to feel pretty comfortable bringing another goaltender who obviously has had tremendous seasons, has an awful lot of talent, and someone who's got really something to prove, a chance to be #1 goaltender again. I mean, when he played with the Avs, he had some big moments, and it carried him on his back at different times. So I think it's a tremendous opportunity for Varlamov. He's supposed to be a very athletic goaltender, a very fit goaltender, and certainly going to be anxious to play with the Islanders, given their style of play. I mean, what goaltender wouldn't be happy to have that kind of defense in front of him? Yeah,
49 games last season. He's had 50 or more games in a season 5 times in his career. 30 years old, you talked about that. A 23-point improvement from the 2 seasons ago to last year for the Islanders. What specifically was it that made that happen, especially in their own end?
Well, I think you have to start first with the ownership coming in and bringing Lou Lamoriello, and then Lou Lamoriello going out and getting Barry Trotz, and Barry Trotz going out and getting his staff all in place. And then the rest was up to the players, and they bought in hook, line, and sinker. I mean, they wanted to improve. They were embarrassed from the year before, finishing 31st in the league in goals against, one of the worst goals against record in 100 years, and so they were embarrassed. And then, of course, they lost John Tavares, and everybody said they couldn't play without John Tavares. They couldn't compete. Well, talk about a slap in the face, and so that was a motivational factor. So these guys got together, and they played night in and night out. They played hard each and every night, and they believed in what Barry Trotz was selling them. And Barry Trotz had a Stanley Cup in his hand, so why wouldn't you listen to Barry? So Barry and his staff did a tremendous job. The players followed suit, John, and they got tremendous results.
And a Jack Adams Trophy, well-deserved for Barry Trotz. One of the guys who bought in hook, line, and sinker, Anders Lee, and he did it again today by signing on the dotted line. In 2 days, Anders Lee celebrates a birthday, and now he gets $49 million in his coffin.
Well, that's a pretty good birthday present. You know, listening to Anders Lee with his interview, and that's the reason that Anders Lee is back as an Islander and the captain. You can say Lou Lamoriello had some things going on, and they made some subtle little maybe decisions while Lou was negotiating, and Anders Lee wasn't concerned at all. I mean, that's the type of player he is. Most players would have said, no, forget about it. If you're interested in someone else, I'm not hanging around. Well, that's not what Anders Lee is about. He's a team guy. He's a tremendous captain. He's a tremendous leader in the dressing room. And we know how he plays. I mean, he prepares himself to play hard each and every game. He works hard on the practice. He goes to those dirty areas. He scores those tough goals. And he takes care of his teammates. He's the first guy to go over a teammate struggling a little bit. He's the first guy to come to his aid, whether it's in a physical fight or he just needs a little talking to or a little pat on the back. So tremendous guy, tremendous signing for Anders Lee, and tremendous signing for all the fans because they love Anders. He's an unbelievable guy, John. So as Lou Lamoriello said, he's not back. He never left.
Exactly.
And Anders said the same thing. I'm not going anywhere.
So as we said, Semyon Varlamov now will be the Islanders goaltender. That means Robin Lehner moves on. He signs a one-year deal in Chicago. Just a word on him, a Masterton winner, and rightfully so. One of the really great stories, as we mentioned, in any sport in terms of human interest. Very open and honest about his mental health issues. Speak to the season he had and the Robin Lehner you got to know.
Just a tremendous surprise. I mean, because just nobody knew quite what to expect from Robin, especially when he came out in the summer and explained all his problems and what he had been going through. So for him to come in and be so forthright, John, and be so willing to make changes in his game. I talked to him about what the changes were that he had to deal with, and it was about shortening his stick and getting more on his angles and all the little things that Steve Valiquette would certainly love. But he was willing to make those changes to be a better goaltender. So and the more he played and the better he played, the more confidence he gained and the more confidence his teammates gained in him. So him combined with Thomas Greiss, it was a great 1-2 punch, John. Everybody forgets how well Thomas Greiss played because he did not have a good season the year before. So the two of them played pretty much the same amount of games, won the same amount of games, had almost the same average. Either one of them could have been Vezina Trophy winners with the league. So just a tremendous effort. And like you said, just a great human interest story when you talk about guys rebounding from some tough things in their world.
For more great videos from the MSG 150, check out right there. And remember, our show is on Monday through Thursday, 8 to 10:30 p.m. on MSG Network and MSG Go.